Hey, Tony Gas here. Now I want you to understand something. When you're in a place of, denial, and you're in a place that you want to find meaning, you want to find confirmation, you want an explanation, you want closure. That's how some minds work. Some minds work like that. It's just the mental health of that person that needs an explanation for life, needs confirmation for life, needs something to hold on to grasp so that they can understand what is this. That right there is a personality type. That is also why we have atheists, because they say, listen, I cannot see God. I cannot audibly hear God. I cannot touch God. So he must not exist. It must not exist. God is a spirit. So that is why we have atheists. So when you find something that speaks to what you're looking for, what you want to have. Now, in the full definition, in some authors' explanation of a twin flame, it sounds similar to my wife and I's story. But I, as a relationship coach and as a relationship professional and as someone in a healthy relationship, do not believe in twin flames. That is a label, a term that someone has given their experience, their personal experience. That's a term for their personal experience. It may sound similar to other people's experience. So when I met my wife, I didn't have trauma. What I had was misinformation. I was told that a man should sleep around with a lot of women and be a player. I had never been touched as a child. I had never been abandoned as a child. I had never been bullied as a child. I had never been hurt in any way. Never had a black eye or bust lip from a fight. Never been broken up with by a woman. I had not gone through any trauma or any pain that is said that twin flames have, but in so many different explanations of it. My wife had experienced pain and had gone through some things, and guess what? She was not completely healed, and I was not completely healed from my misinformation. And when we broke up, it had to do with an emotional bond that we both had to our past. Meaning I had an ex-girlfriend, she had an ex-boyfriend, and then we had a beautiful start that turned rocky because I introduced my representative to her. When we came back together, if a twin flame is real, then coming back together would be something magical in the sense of you're just walking through the park and you cross paths and you lock eyes, or you bump into each other in the grocery store. And yes, that stuff happens and the relationship still fails. It still fails because a twin flame is not real in the sense of the word. Yes, you have relationships that mature and that grow together and that can go apart and come back together and can make it work. That doesn't mean it's a twin flame, because twins are siblings. And in a relationship, that is incest. That is nasty. In your relationship, your strength is in your differences. A twin is one in the same, split into two, but you are related. You are siblings. That's where the word twin even comes from. A flame is fleeting. It is not eternal. It must be fed. It eventually consumes what is igniting it. That is not a healthy relationship. So even the term itself has many flaws and many holes, but it is that way because it is created by the human mind that is not inspired by the divine. Because see, when it's inspired by God, then you can press it to the ground and it will rise again. People who do not experience will try to poke holes in it. But some people have said that my wife and I are twin flames or soulmates. I'm in the relationship. I know what we have gone through. You don't know everything we've gone through. You only know what I've told you. So when my wife and I got back together, it was because my friend reached out to me and he heard that my wife's roommate was easy, was loose. And at this time, my wife and I was broken up, quote unquote, a break. She had gone back to her ex. I had gone back to my ex. I reached out to her with no intention of reconnecting with her, solely to tell her, my friend wants to connect with your roommate. He's heard about her. She said, okay, I will tell her. I didn't say he's heard about her. I just said, hey, you want to connect with your roommate. She said, okay, I'll tell her. He never showed up. So then I reached out to her and said, do you mind if you and I still connect? I had not sought her out. She had not sought me out. When we came back together, it was just something to do for me. It was just because I hadn't finished the work I was trying to do in trying to conquer this classy, respectable woman of standard. I was a grown boy. Nothing about us is a twin. She loved roller coasters. She loves skydive. That stuff terrifies me. She loved vegetables. I'm okay. She's very vocal at the game. I don't say a word at our soccer games. She's very personable and bubbly when she gets around people and gets to know them and talk to them. I'd rather not say a word to anybody. Nothing about us is the same. Nothing about us is a twin. Nothing about us are soulmates. She loves to work out. She actually would feel like her soulmate would be a guy who loves to get fit and work out. If I loved to work out, my wife may love me more. One would think. But it is our differences, and that's somebody's quote, that bring strength, not our similarities. So what you have to understand is the other half of your soul is not a polar opposite. Yes, we all have good and bad within us, but that is from spiritual influences. It's not just you're innately a bad person. You're innately a hateful person, a spiteful person. You become that over time through learned behavior. You learn how to hate. You learn how to be prejudiced. You learn how to judge. You learn how to be spiteful. Life does that to you. So if this person is the other half of your soul, if this is your soulmate or even your twin flame, then guess what? You will be one in the same, experiencing life and being tempted and tested by life. and having to come together and sharpen one another. But if you are one in the same, if you are twins, you cannot sharpen the other person. If you are one in the same, split into two, because you will have the same strengths and the same weaknesses. So if you are twins, so what you have to realize, and if you are a flame, so what you have to realize is, again, this is terminology that when you are in a place, when you are in a position of authority, you have the power to create a term that means something to you and may mean nothing to anyone else. That is what twin flame is. Poetry means something to the author, but the reader 100% of the time is misinterpreting the poem, because it comes from the heart and the spirit and the mind and the experiences of the author. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand about terminology, about labels, is that you are accepting someone else's description of their destiny, and it is trapping you as a prisoner on a pursuit to find that which you read and now believe. But it is not real, because what you experience, I would never let someone label my wife as my soulmate, because she's not. I will never let someone label my wife as my twin flame, because she's not. She is her own individual human who I chose to create love with. I did not find love when I met her. We created love. And although some definitions say that is what a twin flame does, if the definition of a twin flame does not say Jesus Christ, Jesus Christo, Yahweh, Messiah, whatever you call him, then guess what? It does not apply to me, because what developed me is not a twin flame. What developed me is the Holy Bible. What developed me is the teachings of Christ and the Holy Bible, the teachings of Apostle Paul, not my quote unquote twin flame. My wife did not sharpen me. The Holy Bible sharpened me. My wife stood beside me and held me accountable. But the Holy Bible is what taught me and sharpened me and made me the man that I am today. I love my wife the way I love her because I believe in Jesus Christ and the Holy Bible. And in the book of Ephesians, it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church. That is the sole reason why I love my wife on the level I love her. Not because I feel like she is a twin flame or a soulmate. Not because I feel like she is sharpened. Not because I feel like she is developed. Not because I feel like she is worthy of that love or deserving of that love. I don't love her based on what I feel she deserves, because I'm not her creator. I love her the way I'm instructed to love her by my creator. And I love her in the capacity that my creator loves me, because Jesus blesses me beyond what I deserve. My wife is a human that I can look and choose to find fault in. I can nitpick her faults if I want to. I can look at why she isn't deserving if I want to. But instead, I love her because I am instructed to love her in this capacity by the Holy Bible, because that is based on my belief system. Because that belief system changed my life. So listen, when you look into the creators and the disseminators of terms like twin flame and soulmate, they are not Christian, meaning believers of Christ who believe that Christ is their Savior and came from the form of a spirit, embodied the form of a man, and was crucified and rose again for the salvation of mankind. The originators and the disseminators of terminology like twin flame and soulmate and life partner are not Christian. So it does not apply to me because it does not include the X factor in my life, which is Jesus Christ. It has nothing to do. The matriculation, the maturation, everything that defines a twin flame, although it may sound similar, remember this, the fruit may look similar, but you have to analyze the root, because evil spirits emulate good spirits. Evil spirits show up packaged beautifully. Evil spirits in modern day time would be cubic zirconia in a Tiffany's box, whereas a pure spirit is a diamond but can be presented in a brown bag. So twin flame is a copy, a replica from a different spiritual channel and realm to emulate the love of God, which is pure. But in the interwoven teachings of a twin flame and a soulmate, there is toxicity, there is contention, there is a battle. But what is not spoken of is that in that toxicity and in that battle for position, in the butting of heads, a life can be lost. Someone can be killed, but that is not talked about. But here you have a human who is devoid, who is searching, who is hoping, who is not educated in the ways of pure and real love. And she is going about life searching for love instead of discovering herself. But she thinks she is discovering herself because she has not identified that she is actually searching. Because if she discovers herself, then she will refuse to be bound by terminology of other humans. She will understand that she is boundless and she is infinite, and that she cannot be reduced to a term like twin flame or life partner or soulmate. She is fearfully and wonderfully created by God. So therefore, she is not in search of love. She is love. and she will attract love. And when she attracts love, there will not be contention. Sorry, my computer was about to cut off, so I had to cancel it because it go off when you don't touch it. She will not be in contention. It will not be a tug of war. See, when we go through those things, that is not spiritual. That is carnal. And the spirit that it is of evil contention. It is not of heavenly spirit, meaning good, meaning from God. Because God is pure and God is love. So what you have to understand is that if you have bought into a label, you are selling yourself short. You are deceiving yourself. And see, this is what happens. This woman who believes in a twin flame meets another broken, lost, searching individual. He is a master manipulator. He emulates and replicates and duplicates her every essence of her being. He is evil. He is a distraction that looks like destiny. He has studied the terminology. He has read the behavior. He has understood and gotten a hold of the complete analysis and definition and wavelength and process and pattern of what is said to be a twin flame. And in that encompasses contention. In that encompasses breakup to makeup. In that encompasses toxicity disguised as self-love and a pursuit of wholeness. But it is actually codependency. But in the word of twin flame, it is said that a twin flame is not codependent. So while this woman believes that a twin flame is not codependent, this man plays on the fact that a twin flame believes that you will have contention, you will have tough times, you will go through toxicity, you may go through a breakup, but then you will be magically drawn back together. So this man, he comes to devour. He manipulates, he deceives, but he has spoken eloquently of his understanding of the terminology twin flame, soulmate, life partner. So what happens is the woman has confirmation in her spirit. You may call it confirmation bias. She has confirmation in her spirit that she is with her equal. And now the roller coaster that he is about to take her on that could bring her to death or near death, she is down for the ride. Ride or die. Because she believes she is with her twin flame. But what she does not understand, it doesn't exist in her reality because it was created and coined from someone else's reality, from the poem of another author who wrote it to make sense of what they were experiencing and also lacked the words to express it in a way that can fit others. Some twin flames believe that it is rare. You are not special, because the Creator has no respecter of persons. The Creator loves everyone equally. You will not be given something that is not available to someone else, because we all have been given choice and free will. So if it is available to you, it is available to me, because I can make the same choice that you can make. So therefore, it is not rare if it exists. Salvation is for everyone who chooses to believe. But if you don't choose to believe, then it does not exist. It is actually not real to you if you do not believe. So understand this: when you believe in something, it becomes real for you and it does shape you. But what you have to realize, if there is not clear and present evidence that this is real. So the peace that I speak of from Christ is real. The blessings that abound is real, because the promises of the word. So you cannot have Christ and only have misery. You cannot have Christ and be forever broken. You cannot have Christ and be forever in poverty. If you truly believe what you say you believe, you will be delivered from pain and poverty. There is clear and evident proof. I'm a living witness. But I am also a living witness of pure love. And the most that I can do is call it love. I can never surmise it to the terminology that is man-made without spiritual guidance. And when I say spiritual, I mean godly guidance. I can never surmise it to twin flame, life partner, soulmate, which are all slightly different variations of the same thing. The same way Muslims say that there is one God with the Christians. And Muslims say we serve the same God. And there's one God. That's the same thing that the authors did. They said, hey, someone created the term soulmate. I don't fully agree with it. So I'm creating the term life partner. And there's a sentence or two different. And then another author said, I'm creating the term twin flame. And there is a paragraph of difference. Each of us have our legacy. Each of us have our following. Each of us are mystical, magical, wonderful spiritual beings having a human experience. And we will have a following of several minions and believers who try to adapt to and adopt the terminology that we have failed to fully articulate. That is the fallacy of humans. And so you fail yourself when you accept terminology to dictate and define your life. It is not of a pure spirit. It is not for your good to believe that you are a twin flame and it is rare and it is only given to select people. Because if you are select, why aren't you better than the rest of us in every area of life? Why are you in the comments on YouTube arguing? If you have a twin flame, A flame sounds consuming to me. Why do you have video time to learn more about twin flames if you are convinced that it is real? I do not search videos about God or about Jesus Christ because I am already convinced. You are watching this video because you either don't believe in twin flames and you are using this as confirmation, or you are trying to convince yourself that it is real. And that is why you are up in arms in the comment section of videos about the fallacy of twin flames and soulmates and life partners. Guess what? I am with a woman that unless she cheats on me or steals from me or betrays me, I will never divorce her. So I will be with her for the rest of my life. But I will not call her a life partner because she is a human and humans have free will. So if she chooses to do something that is against my standards of self-love, then guess what? She will no longer be my life partner. I will never call her a twin flame because she is not the other half of me. I do not feel like I knew her in another lifetime. I do not feel like I knew her before just because we have great conversation. I do not feel like she is complete in the sense of humanness because there is no such thing as a totally complete human. We are whole in the sense of we are progressing and we are pursuing perfection. But I do not believe she is completely responsible for my sharpening, nor am I responsible for her sharpening. But we are influencing one another, holding one another accountable, encouraging one another, pushing one another, speaking life into one another. But guess what? She is not my twin flame because the term twin, as we know it, are siblings or a Twix candy bar. Flame, as we know it, burns. Lust burns. Love warms. Do you understand? Where you need to sit with yourself and talk to yourself and evaluate the terms that you have accepted as reality and the definition that comes from a wanderer, a human seeking purpose and meaning and understanding and closure. And in the midst of their journey, they create poetry with clever names like twin flame, soulmate, life partner, trying to describe away their voids, trying to describe away their emptiness, trying to describe away their pain, their trauma, trying to repurpose codependency, calling it something that it is not. So having a trauma bond and a codependent relationship, but calling it a twin flame that is not codependent, to make themselves feel better about relying on another human to sharpen them, and to feel better about breakup to make up, and to feel better about why they were entranced with the chemistry of someone who was mirroring them to show them their representative. Because do you know the person who created the term twin flame? Do you know the person who created the term soulmate? Do you know the person who created the term life partner? Okay, now tell me about their life. Show me their testimony. Show me that they are a living witness of what they concocted. See, what you're seeking in love, to be pure, to be whole, to be loving, to be compassionate, to be understanding, to be sharpening, to build you up, to encourage you, to give you a sense of wholeness, for someone to compliment you, not compliment in the sense of the word you look nice, but compliment mean to be an asset, to add to you, to fit you like a puzzle piece. What you are seeking, I am living in a 100% happy relationship. And I am here to tell you, my wife is not a twin flame, nor is she a soulmate, nor is she a life partner. She is a human with a heart and a mind and the ability to choose. She is not under the mystical guidance of karmic energy or any other energy guiding her as a guiding light into my life to mesh with me and mature me and take me to a namaste, next level experience of life. She is a human who can wake up tomorrow and after 14 years of marriage and 15 and a half years of relationship, decide she's done. And guess what? For the 14 years that someone who believes in a twin flame, who have been calling my relationship a soulmate or a twin flame or any other misappropriated term, will be sadly mistaken. That is why we live in a world with unfit personal trainers, with broke financial advisors, with single matchmakers, because we are egotistical wanderers, searching for meaning, hoping to find the answers to life. And on that journey, we create terms that those who will come behind us will buy into and believe, only to find out as we live life, we become boundless, limitless, and infinite as God, without definition, without confinement, without complete human understanding. But by the time the author realizes the error of his or her ways, their terminology that was coined in the midst of their pursuit of answers has gone viral. And now others, who are even more lost than they were when they created the term, buy into the term and confine themselves by the term. Listen to me, and listen to this 3-4 times. And you could argue what you want to argue, but listen to me. When you know that you know, you don't have to argue. You just know what you know. Because I'm in a healthy relationship and I know that I know there's no term for it. Because I can't articulate it. So I will not call it a twin flame. I would be doing a disservice. I will not surmise it to a twin flame or a life partner or a soulmate, because it is boundless. It is of God, who is also boundless and indescribable for the human language, regardless of the language you speak. I urge you to stop labeling yourself and to stop believing and accepting labels and allow your mind to do what it was created to do. And that is to be limitless and boundless by faith through grace in this thing we call life. Listen. Now, one day, my message will reach the masses, every corner of the globe. And my message will be one of the messages to help bring balance. So that's why I have to speak what has been illuminated to me, meaning brought to the light, shown to me through real life experience. See, a lot of people argue that something is true and have no evidence or proof that it exists. Understand that. So, anything that you speak on or believe, be wise enough and humble enough to not mislabel it. And I'm here to tell you, the evidence of God is in my life. The evidence of love is in my life. But I am also humble enough, yet wise enough, which wisdom is rooted in humility, to understand that I cannot give it a label, because the labels cannot contain limitless possibilities. Understand what I'm trying to tell you now. Listen to this again. Listen to this every day, so that you go into this life and that you realize and I meant surmise, I'm country, so I kept saying surmise. Understand that you cannot go through this life in a box of a term, and that you need to give yourself the flexibility, the fluidity to be able to approach every situation like water, to be able to see, to expand, to conform, to read, to respond, to not hear and believe, but to know that your spirit will feel. But if you convince your mind that a term is real, you nullify your intuition and the gifts of your spiritual being, because you are a spirit having a human experience in a human body. And what you have to understand, that labels are finite, but your life and your experience is infinite as the creator. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon.